Good morning, guys. Kavanaugh, Fiona, Finnegan. It's good to be, can't say seeing you. Can't really even say it's good to be talking to you because I don't know if or when you'll ever see this video. But it's good to be recording a video. It is Tuesday, November 11th. It's almost 9 a.m. I just finished my morning routines. Part of my routine's been recording a video for you guys for about the past 2 months. I don't know why I didn't start doing it earlier than that. It just an idea that didn't come to me. To be honest, part of it too is my phone, I couldn't save much memory on my phone, so I just got a new phone, and shortly after that I started doing these. But today is November 11th, Tuesday, November 11th. It is Veterans Day. And as you know, your dad joined the Army in 2002, shortly after 9/11, September 11th, 2001. I was in college up in Duluth, and I woke up one morning and I turned on the TV, and about 3 minutes later, one of the airplanes crashed into the second tower. I saw it happen live, and it kind of changed the world for me. And I knew I had to do something. So I ended up talking to a recruiter shortly after that, and by April of 2002, so about 7 months later, I was enlisted in the Army National Guard. I did the Army National Guard through college, so I was enlisted in the spring, towards the end of my sophomore year, and then I did the weekends, 1 weekend a month kind of thing with the Army National Guard. Really just kind of learned how to be a soldier. And then after my junior year of college, that summer, I went to basic training. And then I got to come back home to finish my senior year of college. And then I went to what's called AIT, that's your advanced training. It's where I learned how to be a paralegal. So doing a lot of UCMJ stuff. A lot of, when soldiers get in trouble, there's they call it an Article 15, all sorts of discipline in the military. So I learned all about how to discipline people in the military, all the paperwork that's involved, all the processes that are involved. And the cool thing was, I finished top of my class. They called it Distinguished Honor Graduate. To do that, I had to get 90% or better on every test. I had to score in the top 90% on my physical fitness, and I had to have 0 disciplinary infractions. And I did all 3 of those things, and I had higher scores than anybody else who may have qualified. And I got a medal, and I got a little ceremony at the end when I graduated, and Grandma and Grandpa drove out for it. And from there, I went back home to Minnesota. So I was in the National Guard, and I did my 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and that just wasn't enough for me at the time. I had just finished college and was working a boring, lame manager job. And I said, you know what, I need to do more. Iraq and Afghanistan wars were going on by that point. And I said, I don't have a wife or kids. Send me. So I went down to my unit, talked to the Army, and went active duty. So in 2005, the Army sent me to Korea for a year. I did very, very well there. Got a medal, got some coins, some accolades, some souvenirs were gifted to me, and was kind of a top soldier. So from there, Special Forces said, you know what, this guy's really good. We want him. So the Army sent me to airborne school to learn how to jump out of planes, be a paratrooper. Did that in Georgia in the summer of 2006. And then they sent me to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, home of the airborne. Also home of 7th Special Forces Group, 3rd Special Forces Group, and Special Forces Command, which is where I was assigned. I spent a year at the headquarters for all Special Forces, all the Green Berets. And I worked at a desk, did a lot of classified, top secret type reports, uh, documents, things like that. And after a year of that, I said, man, I got Green Berets sitting all around me, but I'm here in an office building. And I was still doing great. I was running marathons by that point, and top of my game, A+ soldier. So I told the Army, I said, I want to go to one of the Special Forces groups. I want to get out in the field more. I want to get my hands dirty. I don't want to be in an office all day. And they said, well, first of all, you're stupid because you're working right down the hallway from the 2-star general. And you're telling me you want to go work with a bunch of the Green Berets jumping on the planes every day and shooting off 1,000 bullets a day and training and all that stuff. And I said, yes, that's what I want. So they sent me to 7th Special Forces Group, specifically 3rd Battalion, 7th Special Forces Group. And I worked with about 300 Green Berets pretty closely every day. Disciplinary issues, couple administrative hearings. One of the Green Berets got in trouble. He was doing drugs overseas. I had to hold the hearing, and ultimately they decided to take took the tab off his shoulder that says Special Forces. He's no longer a Green Beret. His whole career gone because he decided to do what's called ketamine. It's a horse tranquilizer. It's a drug. I decided to do some of that while he was in Colombia. So in the event, after a year doing that, 48 jumps out of an airplane, more that probably weren't recorded on paper because I didn't always put it in the log because you only needed to do one every 6 months, and I was doing one a week. So anyhow, in reality, probably close to 60 or 70 jumps out of a plane with Green Berets. My back hurt, my knees hurt, and my contract was up. So the Army said, do you want to re-enlist or do you want to go back home and be done? And I said, man, I just had 2 funerals for friends in 7th group. One of them in 3rd group, one in 7th group. 2 guys I knew. Just had funerals for them. I got a girlfriend out here who's come out here from Minnesota, and she's been with me for 2 years, and like she wants to go start her life with me. And my back hurts, my knees hurt. 60, 70 jumps in 2 years' time, that's a lot. Normally people do about 10 to 15 over that amount of time. I had 60 to 70, like 5, 6 times more. Maybe the Army had that rule, that had that guideline for a reason. So anyhow, went back to Minnesota, and I was totally out with the Army. I was working for Jim Keeler, the Carver County Attorney's Office, managing a bunch of paralegals. And after the Army Reserves kept calling me, saying, dude, you were a top A+ soldier. You're coming out of Fort Bragg. You're working, you're Special Forces guy. Will you please come and help us out? Because we know we're all going to deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan pretty soon. We really want your help. And I said, no, I'm done. And after about 4 or 5 months, I finally said, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. So I re-enlisted back in the Army Reserves, did 3 years with them. Drove me crazy because I was all hoo. We run, we shoot, we train. And I was very serious and very, very intense. And they were a bunch of fat guys, lazy guys who didn't know how to do Army stuff. So they made me training NCO, and I spent a couple years hopefully teaching them some things that I'd learned. And made a couple of good friends there. And a couple really good friends there. And I think they liked me because I was the former Special Forces guy who was A+ soldier, top of his game, took things seriously. And when I wasn't having my weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, I was running 5 to 10 miles a day. I was taking it seriously even when I was not in a uniform. So anyhow, 3 years later, I'm out on Fort McCoy in 2011, and we had our 2-week training, and I'm all intense, and boop, pop, splat. Can't stand up, can't walk. I had 2 ruptured discs in my back from a training accident. And I guess the doctors at Tria said that one of them was probably herniated for a while, and then they just finally popped. So a ruptured disc is when the disc inside basically explodes. So yeah, I think that may have been why my back was bothering me so much before. That was the herniation and the rupture, because I never stopped to take care of it. Just kept charging forward. So anyhow, this is a long video, but you know what? It's Veterans Day. I wanted to at least put on record my service, what I did. Hopefully you guys will get a chance to see this sometime and know a little bit of specifics, what your dad did. And Kavanaugh, I was just thinking this morning about that time when you were about 4 or 5 years old, Target Field, they invited me to come down and raise the flag with you. I saw the video on YouTube, watch it every couple of months, raising the flag, and you're sitting there, fireworks, when they shot him off. That was a nice moment for me, though, to do that with you. I wouldn't have, I told them no for a couple of years. I wasn't interested, but it was a chance for you to see it and experience it. That's when I said, yeah, if my son can come, I'll do it. I wish I could have come to Highland today as well. I know they have a little ceremony. 3 years ago, I was there. I was standing across the street, 100 yards from the school. I watched you guys do it from across the street. You may not even know I was there. I was over by that Super America gas station where we used to go get popsicles in the summer on our bikes. Watching the whole thing, saluted, and but yeah, it's one of those things I need your mom's permission to attend, and I asked her again this year, for the 3rd year in a row, and for the 3rd year in a row, she said no. So I prayed for her today that she can find some peace and forgiveness, and I prayed for you guys today. I love you. Thank you for letting me share some of my memories on Veterans Day, and I get to see you tomorrow. That's what I'm holding on to. Today kind of stinks. I would love to be at Highland, raise the flag, see Finney and Fiona, see you guys at that ceremony. But I get to see you tomorrow, give you guys hugs. And that's the best thing in the world. I love you so, so much. Have a great day.